everybody. I am back from Comic-Con. Welcome to Do It Like Danny.
Oh my God, we got into Hall H. I had to step on 4 people, stab somebody in the neck, and choke out a 9-year-old. But it was worth it, every single minute of it.
So why are you here at Comic-Con? Let's go ahead and start there.
Last night, someone were in line there for 36 hours.
So this is our Comic-Con episode. We have been going to Comic-Con how many? 80 years?
This is your 3rd year. It's my 24th, I believe.
Oh my! It was I thought not my 4th. It's my 3rd year.
It's your 3rd.
My 3rd year. I feel like I've been going forever. For those of you that do not know what Comic-Con is a collaboration of artists, toys,
Comic books,
movie stars,
music stars.
music stars.
Some music
Oh
stars.
yeah. Green Day was there. Music stars.
It's a giant.
What am I forgetting?
It's a giant pop culture event that everybody comes from all around the world to attend.
There
And
you go.
I say that because for the first time I met somebody from Israel who was standing in front of us while we were in line for Hall H.
Where was I?
You were, well, should we talk about that?
We don't want to jump ahead.
Yes,
We will
let's
get
hold
to
on.
that.
Let's hold
Now
on.
that you said that, I remember where I was. I remember.
Let's hold on.
So, as always, Cousin Art, who is the cousin who doesn't eat carbs. He's the gay cousin.
Hold on, pause, because he said, and I quote, "Do eat carbs," and then took a bite of and yeah.
And Trump doesn't shit his pants. Fake news, everybody. Fake news. Get your Fauci ouchie. Get your Fauci ouchie.
Oh, man.
So thank you so much, Cousin Arturo, for inviting me again and letting me take part in using the lovely pass that you purchased for Zach, and Zach never uses.
Zach actually hates the show.
And it was actually really nice to see Zach. It
Yeah.
was nice to see her. I hadn't seen my sister in a minute. I got to see Chris. And Chris also runs, my sister's husband also runs his own podcast called Towers of...
It's Power of Tower or Tower of Power?
Power of Tower? Oh, God. We're going to ruin this.
It's Tower of Power.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Tower of Power.
My sister's husband, Chris, he has a wonderful podcast about wrestling called The Towers of Power.
Towers of Power.
Yes, and he talks to a lot of very high-up individuals that are in the wrestling world. So you guys should visit it. If you're into wrestling, you should definitely take a gander and take a look at that. So as we were saying, it was my 80th annual trip to Comic-Con, and, you know, as always, and I'm not going to say it's a shit show. It was a shit show, right? And it had nothing to do with us. That was not even our fault. Like, you know, Art told me to be there at 4 a.m, and I got up at 3. I was out the door, and I get to the house, and
Everybody's asleep.
everybody's asleep.
Now, that wasn't done purposely.
It was done purposely.
We were extremely
So I guess
tired.
when you don't eat crackers, your mind, you forget things. When you don't eat carbs. So my suggestion is you eat carbs.
Well, we had been walking all day Thursday. We had been there all day. We closed it out. I hadn't been to the convention center and closed it out in a very long time.
But wait, though, so people probably don't know what the hell you're talking about. As Louis was explaining before, Comic-Con is a mixture of all those things that we explained, you know, previously. However, it exists over a time span of 5 days or 4 days.
It's a total of 4 with a preview night on Wednesday for about 3 to 4 hours.
So is that 5 total?
It's not, because it's not a full day.
But it still begins. Yeah, I would count
Wednesday. Okay. It begins on a Wednesday for 4 hours, but the official start date is Thursday all the way to Sunday, and Sunday closes at 4.
And for those of you that want to go to Comic-Con, you can purchase tickets. And
Correct.
how would they purchase tickets?
You would have to purchase tickets as an open registration guest. You could not do it as a returning guest, and that is coming up, I believe, in November.
And then how does that work? So it's like a lottery?
So you have to, number one, you got to make on the official Comic-Con website, you have to register, put in your name, your address, blah, 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 blah. On the day of, you need to be in the queue on the website with all your information ready to go, and you wait. And it's a lottery system now, whereas before you could buy and purchase tickets the year before at the convention. No longer can you do that. You have to get in line like everybody else. It's a shit show. That's how bad it's gotten.
That's a lot.
It is.
I'm very lucky that Art gets the tickets every single year.
Yeah,
and you're very lucky.
You
too.
don't even play the game. We coordinate, and we've done this for like the last 5 or 6 years, because I used to get in for free thanks to my uncle, and then when that ended, I started having to purchase my ticket, which I had no problem with, but I didn't even know how to do that. So Art actually taught me how to do that. Taught me how the system worked because, again, I used to know you could buy tickets a whole year in advance. Right there on the spot. And they were like, I don't know, probably $140 at the time. Oh, yeah, they were cheap.
Oh, my God. Not anymore. What do they run now?
For all 4 days, you're almost paying $500. Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
It is. That's
a
very
lot
expensive.
of money.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
My God. Wow. So, again, if it's your first time ever seeing or hearing or listening to the show, or Dana, you're on fast speed. Like, again, the way Comic-Con works is obviously it's a whole system of applying and registering, and it's pretty insane. All the pomp and circumstance that leads up to it is what allows me to just
show up.
I just show up and walk in. Yes, I was told the wrong time, but I still showed up on time both days, just so you know.
He did.
I went Friday and Saturday, and, I'm sure Louis has tons of footage. The way that you get into, well, first of all, I should explain why we even go that early. Is because you and Art like to purchase what they call these exclusives.
Yes.
So, perfect example, Hasbro had an exclusive, right? They had a whole panel of things that you could only purchase there.
Well, that's also changed, too. I don't mean to interrupt you. You could purchase it there, but if they have anything left over, they will sell on their website. So is it that exclusive? Kind of.
Well, they sold out for everything. Hasbro sold out for everything, for the most part. I think there was like 1 or 2 things, but when I walked by the booth, did I go Sunday? No. People were posting. People were posting, and they were showing the X's through everything, right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so then, who was selling the Pokemon? Jazzwares?
That's Jazzwares.
So Jazzwares, which I never even heard of this company, had this exclusive Pokemon. People went ape shit for this thing.
Ape shit for this thing.
Ape shit. And when I tell you they went ape shit, like it was like I felt like we were being pushed into like a line to get murdered because everybody was pushing against it.
Yeah.
Literally at one point, I literally turned around and I told this woman, "Get your tits off me now." Like, get those bags of fun off of my arm or my back. They were just like, it was hot.
Oh, it was very hot.
And it was humid.
But that was a series of you very, very much being vocal this year.
Oh my God.
You're very vocal this year.
It was too much.
Yeah.
Going back to even lining up to getting in. So of course, you shattered your leg, so you have ADA, right?
Yes.
And then I'm a companion, which is per the law, that's what you get.
Correct.
So we were in line, and I had just laid down because it was like, we sat in line for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, they let us in at 6:30, and then we still had about three hours before they would let us in.
And there's nothing to do. It's only you can walk. There's no panels.
Chill.
You're just waiting to get into those exclusive lines or a ticket to come back. And there's like a whole pomp and circumstance.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot.
It is.
And so I remember waking up and looking at it, I'm like, who's that? And it's like, you're going to see in the video here, I have lots of photos.
Photos, yeah, we have lots.
What you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is a line cutter. This man cut the line. We don't know who he is. I tried to get him out multiple times. So here's what happened.
Just paint the picture, Debo.
I became line Karen.
You did.
I wasn't the only one, though.
No, you weren't, but you definitely were a lot more vocal this year, and you seemed like you weren't enjoying it as much.
It's just because people were just so egregious in their actions.
I'll admit
right?
they were worse this year than I've seen in a very long time, but I feel like last year the energy was negative, and then this year I felt like you were prepared for that negativity, but for me it didn't show as it did last year.
Yeah, interesting. Because, when he tried to cut, and then when another, 5 to 10 people, and then that one, there was, the 2 that were in cosplay. I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
One had blue hair, and her dress was smacking the lady in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I had enough.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? And that's what you heard me. I said to them, I know you guys cut in line. I'm like, and that's great. I said, but can you get your skirt out of her face?
No, and see, that was a good one because nobody ever sticks up for the people in the chairs, ever.
The poor lady in the wheelchair, she's sitting there getting bombarded with this like awful cosplay. And I shouldn't be mean like that, right? But it was like there was no consideration for the people.
Well, there's no spatial awareness anymore.
No, I just don't think there's any awareness.
Yeah,
I don't think it has anything to being spatial. I just think that these people are special and that they don't have any awareness of anything other than themselves.
Yeah.
And the level of entitlement, the lady with the child who thought she could cut a line, right? So then, of course, thank goodness the other lady behind me with the walker was like, those people cut. And then what did I do? I turned and when the that new security guard came over and was like,
pointed.
You got to go the back line, started screaming. I took the opportunity and I rode that wave of energy and I started to clap.
Yeah, you did good.
When he said that and I started to clap, the entire line started to clap. And those people that cut had nothing else to do except leave the line.
Yeah. No, they
go
had
to
screwed
the back.
themselves. And it was good because you waited right to the end and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And they all had to leave.
It was crazy. Now, could that have been alleviated? Abso-fucking-lutely. But my biggest complaint, I felt this year, out of all the years, like I've been going for so long, right? I feel like this year, out of all the years, it was the most miscommunicated in terms of security, in terms of people that actually represent Comic-Con, the people that were there to, figure out the lines, the people that were there, the security. Like, then there was that one guy that was walking down the ADA line. He kept like spouting things off, and I was like, he should not be saying that. Like, you don't know, to call people out for their mobility, that's against the law.
Yes.
I saw a lot of things. Now, back when I worked in television, I was well versed in the ADA, and it still remains true to this day. I work with an ADA lawyer, right? ADA lawyers, like every show that I worked on, they would come in, they would, assess everything. So I already knew what you can and what you shouldn't do.
And we both have a little bit of background because working for the MTA, I had to learn about ADA. The number one thing that they tell you is ADA is the most important thing. And if you do it wrong, you yourself could be personally sued along with the company. And if that happened, it's like an automatic termination.
And you should always err on the side of just do it.
Yep.
Right? Just do it. At the end of the day, maybe the little chihuahua is not an emotional pet. It doesn't make a difference. The law, unfortunately, is written in such a vague way that you cannot actually enforce it. And they know that.
Correct.
We could go on.
People will take advantage.
Yeah, people take advantage, right?
Yes.
Obviously, there were some people in line that were taking advantage. You were not taking advantage of that, okay? There were people that had wheelchairs, people that had actual physical mobility.
Correct.
They needed assistance.
Mm-hmm.
When those people started running and it was just like a free-for-all, it's like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like, there was no rhyme or reason.
No.
And so when that guy was going through and talking about how it's going to change next year, I thought that was completely inappropriate.
It was.
Had I known there was a talk back, I'm going to go next year and you're going to see me. They're going to be like, oh my God. And I will start working for San Diego Comic-Con and I will show them how it's done. Because the only person, and we will get to this, is the only person who I really felt, honestly, and maybe she was full of shit, but I think the number one person who had the line on lockdown was Anne.
Oh.
From Hall H.
From Hall H.
So we'll get to that in just a second. So going back to, ADA, once we were in, it was just insane, right?
Yeah.
It was a little bit too much for me. I mean,
It seemed like it. You definitely did not seem happy.
Well, people were just running.
Yeah.
And they're saying, don't run. And then I guess the other part, too, is like that is very baffling to me. I get it. You have your kids. I get it. You have strollers. But at the end of the day, don't you think you're putting your kids at risk? You have a baby. It's booming. It's loud. And is it that important to get these items? Like, I don't know. I just felt like there were some life choices that I kind of was like, wow. Like, I would have never brought my child small. Like, my niece, she's 9. She's tall enough, right? I would have protected her. But people were dragging their children because they were in just feverish mode to get these Pokemon or whatever the item was going to be sold as an exclusive that morning. So I just felt like, oh, my God, like, you're putting your kids at risk.
Yes. I mean, look at that. Let's go back just a little bit to the mom who tried to sneak in with her kid.
Yeah.
And then pretend like I was standing there. And it always baffles me because it's like, who are you trying to fool? Because we all know, like, We make the time to wake up in the morning. I've been in this game for a long time. You used to be able to just show up at any time, pick up whatever you wanted. When that changed, I realized, okay, well, this is getting serious. When the line began to go out the doors, I was like, okay, so if I really want these exclusives, I need to wake my ass up. So I've had this system for a long time.
You know, when I went to the restroom, I'm pretty sure that there was over 1,000 people in the ADA line.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people that were going all the way, extended all the way down, you know, the length of the convention center.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I thought that was pretty intense. You know, but going back to once we got in and all that insanity, and then you and Art planned it so that I would be able to go to more panels, because I love the panels.
Yeah,
right?
you like the panels more
Even
than
like the
floor.
random ones that we would try to get into before the actual panel. I mean, and again, that is also an art. In addition to the art of getting the exclusives and the insanity that goes behind all of that, right? There's an art to getting into the particular panels, especially if it's a popular one.
Correct.
Case in point, X-Men 97. X-Men 97. I was so excited. I think myself and another 5,000 people were extremely excited, right? To get into. And that should have been held in a bigger hall.
It should have.
I mean, that was too small of a room for all those people.
Correct.
And we got into line. We got into the ADA line. We did everything that we were supposed to do. But you know me, and all of my audience years, I knew exactly what was going on. And sure enough, they were taking all of the general guests first. They didn't have a clearly defined system of general versus ADA.
Yeah.
Right? They punished the ADA.
They
punished those people, and I thought that was wrong. That was extremely wrong. And we were the last people to get in.
I actually think that is a foreshadow of what's coming. I don't think if you're not immobile, sitting in a chair with the cane, I think now they're going to be treating everybody who has some type of mobility non-issue to do that. You're going to be forced to stand in line. And unless you can actually physically see it, which is illegal by law, that's going to be, that's just my
That's
opinion.
going to open a can of worms. But on the other end of it, if that's the way it's going to be, then we probably would have gotten into everything because they let them in first.
Yeah.
They punished those poor ADA people who sat out there. And then when we didn't get into that panel,
We got into the next one.
we got into the next one, right?
was
Which
Jim
was
Lee
a
and
horror
Friends.
panel, right?
There was Jim Lee and Friends, and then after that, it turned into a horror panel.
Which was great, right?
Yeah.
We had a great time. I love the horror panel.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
I really thought that was
Yeah.
really good. It was cool because in the horror panel, they gave us this
These little cards.
Camp, is it Misma? 12 trading cards. I was excited. And then they gave us this bookmark. From Victorian Psycho.
That looks so good.
That's right. So
it looks
this
so good.
is a bookmark in promoting the Victorian Psycho, which we got to see 15 minutes of that.
Yeah.
And that looked pretty scary.
Yeah, it
so
looked
that
good.
was really cool. So I love that kind of stuff, right? So then, we had that day was kind of crazy.
Well, it's kind of rule number one I tell people at Comic-Con is you're not going to see everything. So you have to plan your day accordingly. And there will be conflicting times with things that you want to do. And you have to make the decision. Am I going to be there early or am I going to skip it entirely? There was a lot of things I missed this year. There's been a lot of things I missed in previous years. You just have to know that these things are going to happen. And then sometimes you could plan it and you end up how we did.
Yeah.
In line, wasted time, and you don't even get in.
And I wouldn't say it sucked because listen, there is a level of fun when you're hanging out with Art or when Art left us.
We are family, and our cousin is cheating the line and letting his friends in before us. And we all came together. Whatever happened to family? Fucking rude.
That's right. I'm going to notice that. Art left us to go hobnob with his friends, and then I made him feel guilty. I was like, they better get in. That's a whole nother story of one of our behind the scenes. When we have Art on the show, we got to have Art on the show.
We have it on video, too.
We got to have it. Oh, yeah, we do. This is Art turning against his family with his friends. He made sure they got in.
And then you did that, and I turned to my cousin, and I go, what happened to family?
So wait. So you know what? Do you know why he made me do that? He comes up to me and he goes, I need for you to block them. He used the big girl, okay? Because I eat carbs. He used me to block because they had to have So he asked the lady who was letting people in a question, and
I watched
that's
it
what he
happen.
got in.
I just didn't know why. I was like,
it happened so fast and so quick, right? But when we got inside, I said, and he will say this, I said, if they don't get in, because you guys were the next 4 people.
We were the next 2. We got cut off right when you guys got in.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, they're with us. And they're like, hold on. And I was like, they're with us. And I told him, I said, if they don't get in, I am leaving. So then he goes, I'll go fix it. So then he took off. He did. He performed his little Harry Potter magic, which was great.
He's actually really good at that. Whatever he does, he's very good at doing
manipulating.
He's good.
Good job, Mark. Good job. And so then there was that. And then that was the end of day 1 for Friday, right?
Yeah, for the most part. We didn't do much.
We didn't do much. Well, it was just crazy. So then thus began our project of Project Hall H. And again, that night that I got home, why did I get home so late? By the time we went to go eat, what did we do that I got home late on Friday?
I think you worked.
No, I don't think I did. I was exhausted. And I got home at 9:30. And then I was in bed by 10:30. Rachel and Chris came home because they work Nickelodeon. And then I was up at 3:30 again. I got up at 3:30 and I was ready for round 2. Oh, that's why. I went to the market to go make sandwiches.
That's right, because you kept talking about that.
That's right, because if in the event we got into Hall H, here's how Hall H works. You wait in line forever. Some people wait days ahead of time to get into Hall H. If you're wondering what Hall H is a 7,500 seat auditorium that they always showcase the best, the very best when it comes to anything that is new coming out from all the networks, whether it's TV or film or, any type of action. That's where they're going to showcase it.
Correct.
And so in this instance, the big rumor or the word in the street was that Marvel was going to be the last panel to go on Saturday, which was the day we were going to go to Hall H. And, of course, everybody was, spreading their rumors. It's Doomsday. This person's going to be there. This person's going to be there. This person, right? And you're like, okay, great, right? Let's hope we can get in. And I knew once we got in, because remember last year, oh, my God, we got in last year, and we didn't want to leave because we were enjoying ourselves, and we loved all the panels, right? So we were starving.
Last year was a little bit different because Marvel wasn't there. So I guess you would say what do you call that?
No, but Disney did Tron, and people lost their minds.
Correct, but Marvel is the one that brings it, and DC as well. So usually, in the past, they would go head-to-head. So it'd be WB, and it would be Marvel, and they would both bring what they're going to bring. But for some reason, Marvel wasn't there last year for whatever. So it was a tad bit easier because there wasn't a lot of, excitement to get in. But we still had a good time because, again, Hall H is where they put on some of the best creative shows.
For me, as a person that I don't, live religiously through this, all of the things that were showcased in Hall H last year, I ended up watching.
Yeah.
And I absolutely enjoyed all of them. So I was looking forward to that same experience.
Also, it was your first time.
True.
So you expected, and I would too, because I have never been to a Hall H year that was so fucking boring.
Yeah.
I looked at this year as one of the worst years in the 24 years that I've gone as bad.
So let's talk about that. So let's go back to the line, and we're going to truncate this because we have to get through this, and there's a lot to go through and unpack here. So we began the journey. I made sandwiches because I knew once we got into Hall H, if we got in, we were not going to leave. And so I'm like, I'm going to be prepared because I don't want to be eating those dirty nachos, which we did. Oh, my God. And hot dogs and deep fried chicken fingers. I want to eat real food. Sandwiches, beef jerky, and stuff like that.
Which those sandwiches were very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Grocery Outlet.
We just needed some chips, but no complaint.
I know, but I didn't want to walk with them and then have them all crunched. Yeah. And then I had brought Cheez-Its.
It's a lot.
I brought Cheez-Its because those are pretty durable.
Yeah.
I was thinking packing, right? Anywho, we woke up at 3. We were there for, art. You guys were a buzz. We didn't know which line to get into. We finally got into the Hall H line for ADA, right?
Yeah.
You guys grabbed breakfast. I had the sandwiches. We were prepared.
Oh, yeah.
We were ready to rock and roll, right? My complaint is the ADA went in where talent and people who showcased and speakers were going in at the same gate. It was such pandemonium. Then there was the whole pass for the restroom, and then they stopped restrooms. And like, you can't do that to
can't.
ADA people. You can't tell them that they cannot use the restroom. You know what I mean? So we have lots to unpack there too.
Well, the rumor mill was that this year they used a different security team, and this isn't the first time. I've been at Comic-Con where they've used different security, though I will say this is probably the worst I've seen for security at Comic-Con. And you want to talk about people who were miscommunication the entire time. This other security team that wasn't a part of the convention, and you know the difference because they wear the shirts.
Yeah.
It'll say Comic-Con on that. And if it just says normal, like, security on their back, that's a security, like, third party.
Yeah.
And they were awful.
They were all awful. They were all awful. Like, when I went to go to the restroom, and we didn't know if we were going to move. It was still like 9 o'clock in the morning. Wasn't sure, right? So when I went to go to the restroom, and she goes, well, we're not giving out passes. And then that security guard said, well, there's no point. They're not getting in anyways.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not leaving this line until I get a bathroom pass. And I go, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to go against what you're saying. I said, but I'm not just going to walk out of the protected area to go across the street to the hotel to come back and have you tell me I can't get in.
Yeah.
I go, I've been in line since 4 a.m. I'm not leaving here until I leave with a pass.
Yeah.
Right? Unless there's another restroom on site that I can go to. You can't do this to people who have ADA.
Correct.
Right? You can't. You really can't.
Correct.
So, of course, obviously, she gave me one, and off I went, and I came back. And thank God that I did, because then that one that was misinformed was turning people away. And what happened? They were all pissed off. I've been in line, and now you have to verify stories. And I was surprised that there were so many people that were in charge, but they were not on radio.
Correct.
That shocked me. That shocked me that the major communication tool to be able to communicate, or even on their phones, if there's somebody in charge blasting out a text message saying, this is the plan, right?
Yeah.
It was so back and forth. But let's move forward.
But rule number 2 of Comic-Con is you got to ask at least 4 people to actually get to the right place, or at least the right person with the right information.
And that's true.
Correct.
I believe you 1,000,000%, especially after going what we went through for the Hall H this year, right? Now, granted, of course, it was the Marvel panel. Everybody was on edge.
Everybody wanted to go.
Everybody wanted to get in. I mean, there were wristbands. There was this. There was that. It's insane.
Correct.
To truncate the story, we got in.
We did.
How we got in?
Luck.
Beyond luck, right?
We got in, and I want to say we got lucky.
We got very lucky.
Because there was a group of people who should have gotten in and did not, but that was not our fault.
Correct.
That was Comic-Con and security teams. But while you were upset about certain things and being upset about the line, I didn't want to burst your bubble at that time, because I was happy we got in. That happens every year, unfortunately. Yeah. It doesn't matter. And this isn't like something that happened last year or the year before. This happens every year.
Yeah,
there is always a group of people that don't get in, that have been waiting for weeks, sometimes, days, hours, months. And it's just because it's pandemonium. And the reason I know this is because I used to go to Hall H religiously every Saturday, and it wasn't so egregious. I could just have somebody pull me in, and I would go through, and that was that. I just had to keep it under wraps. But every year, because I was curious, I'd be like, there's a lot of people out there. How's it going? And the person would tell me, it's crazy. And these people didn't get in. They were complaining. They had been waiting so many hours, and somebody messed up. So for me, unfortunately, it's just par for the course.
But there's an easier way.
Oh, there always is.
Listen, I could go. I don't want to give my secrets away, because if I get hired, I'm not gonna. You know, I'm coming for you, Comic-Con 2027. I'm gonna be the HBIC.
I told Art, if you do that, then we'll be able to get in.
Oh my God, right? And they tell me no. So we get into Hall H, and obviously once you're in, you're in. We were lucky enough to get in at the very beginning, and Star Trek was the very first panel right out the gate.
Right out the gate.
And they had the 60th anniversary, and it was great to see George Takei there.
They had old plus new.
Which was great, right? It was really neat to see. And Jerry O'Connell was there. I'm like, look at this photo. Why was Jerry O'Connell there, right?
I think it's funny because we laugh. We always make that joke. He's everywhere, and he just shouldn't be there.
I feel like Jerry O'Connell is like the Susan Lucci of this generation. Like, for those of you who don't know who Susan Lucci is, she was in All My Children, and she fought many years to win an Emmy and finally did. And I feel like that's who Jerry O'Connell is. Very nice man. He was on the talk, and he's very, very nice. And I've worked with him before. So, moving forward from that, then we went into that other panel. We went into that awful panel about illustration. I don't want to say awful. It was just the man was extremely boring. I would have never chosen him to be the spokesperson for UCLA illustration. I know that he was instrumental in creating that department, and I get it. But it was like watching paint dry. and Sarah Gilbert would have been a better person, and she is watching paint dry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So then from there, we went into the Apple panel.
Yes.
And I was excited because I figured that they would talk about the August 3rd release of Ted Lasso.
Everybody did.
Everybody.
Everybody did.
Instead, we got a T-shirt. They talked about Matchbox the movie, which is going to star John Cena, who, by the way, is dreamy, amazing, and wonderful and hilarious. And if I could, I would. Okay? That was amazing. And then they talked about Dark Matter, which, again, it's sci-fi. It's good. It's no... What's the P that you want? President or
which one?
Preservedness. Oh my God! Why am I
Preservedness?
Yeah, with where they're in hell, in the office.
Oh, Severance.
Oh, Severance. I'm all preservative. Yeah, Severance. It's no Severance, right?
Yeah, it's no Severance.
And then they talked about Neuromancer, which is like, okay,
that looked interesting, but they didn't show enough.
They didn't. Mayday. I don't even remember what Mayday was. I think I fell asleep. Mayday, and then Widow's Bay, which Widow's Bay is actually really good.
Haven't seen
so
it.
you got to watch Widow's Bay.
Okay.
It's scary, it's good, and it's campy.
Okay.
And then
Silo.
everyone started screaming because it was the last panel. And he came out and said, this is our last panel. And he built it up, he built it up, he built it up. And people were like, Ted. And he's like, welcome, Silo.
Yeah, Silo.
And there was like a hush of like, oh, okay. Love Silo. But it's also in its third season.
Yeah.
And the clip that they showed was not even like this. Hall H is known for exclusive
Exclusivity.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like things that are not going to come out until later, or only Hall H is going to get an opportunity to see, right?
Usually you'll see like an episode 6 months to a year early.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that episode had already aired.
Yeah.
When they showed that cliffhanger scene, I was like, I've already seen this.
You know what it felt like? It felt like Hall H was really trying to find somebody and something to fill that, and Apple was the one who said, well, we'll come. We don't have much to show, but sure, we'll bring some stuff.
I mean, they do, though. I just felt like there was I felt like the budget had been tightened.
Yep.
I felt like there wasn't that normal big, huge, reveal and stuff like that, which they could have.
Correct.
So going back to the, Silo, they came out. I was excited. I didn't know that the main actress is actually also an executive producer, so that was kind of cool to find that out. But then, of course, a hush falls over the crowd. Began the insanity. They made everybody sit in their seats. They locked down the bathrooms.
Yep.
Again, you can't do that
Can't
to
do
people.
that. Nope.
They made everybody go back to their seats. I felt like I was in 5th grade. Everybody going through counting seats because they wanted to make sure that those 7,500 seats were filled inside the auditorium.
That is correct.
I completely understand that, and I get that. But then when people were like, you can't prevent us from going to the bathroom, they go, well, our RFID chip thing is broken. They pulled that bullshit, right? And then people were like, oh, because they go, if you go out, you can't sign back in.
There was a possibility you would not be come back in.
Correct.
So that's how they kept people going. But I heard otherwise that you could leave and still come back. I just didn't want to take the risk because of all the pandemonium. And again,
correct.
What happens if I don't come back? I don't want to sit out there by myself.
Me neither. And then you spent all that time. You spent all day. You wasted the whole day. And I don't say wasted in a negative way, but you skipped out on panels that you could have been watching.
Correct.
And here you get kicked out, right?
Yep.
So thus began the Marvel chant. Green lights came on. No, I'm sorry. No. Thus began. I'm sorry. Let me start again. Thus began the Marvel chant. People started going crazy. And the director came out? Who was that guy that came out?
Kevin Feige is the head of Marvel. So he runs all that.
Head of Marvel came out, right? And he says, whenever we have big announcements, we shut the lights off, people go crazy, and all of a sudden the lights go out.
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, everybody's losing their mind in the dark. It reminds me of, like, being stuck in the elevator at the Haunted Mansion. And people are screaming and yelling, and the lights come back on, and there is Ryan Gosling.
No, it's John Berthel first. They did Punisher.
No, they did Ryan Gosling first.
Did they do Ryan Gosling first?
Yeah, Ryan was first, and then John came out.
Oh, okay.
Ryan was first.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling came out first, and he announced it. And, of course, everybody lost their shit, right?
Everybody.
And there he is. And a side note, if you haven't seen Project Hail Mary, I think it's absolutely amazing. I hope it wins an Oscar. I hope it wins a Peabody. I hope it wins...
A Peabody. A Razzie, all of it.
Whatever. A green tomato, a red tomato, a rotten tomato. I hope that I loved that movie. And for those of you that have not seen it, I'm going to ruin it. But let me tell you, the writing was amazing, and it made me cry over a rock. And that's all I'm going to say. So if you want to decipher what I just said, go watch it. It is long. It's an investment, but I guarantee you the payoff is so good at the end. And it's like, it's a good movie. Okay, all right, now I'm back.
Now we're back.
So now Ryan Gosling announces that he is going to be starring in Ghost Rider.
Correct.
So, of course, there's, everybody goes crazy. They're going insane. And then thus began the train. Here we go. And so then John...
Bernthal.
Bernthal. He came out. Of course, obviously, I would have loved to have seen Tom Holland. But Tom was in London. He was on he's promoting Spider-Man. So then John showed us a clip from Spider-Man, the newest one that just came out, which I went to go see with my niece, and she loved it. It was good. Amazing.
It was good.
Very good. Very, very good. Very long, but good. And then began, like, how are they going to now? Everybody knew Doomsday was coming, right?
Correct.
Because they had passed out this robe and a Dr. Doom mask, of course, which everybody donned. And look, little Louis put his on, and so did Alyssa.
This is so awesome.
My cousin, they put them on. Here's a photo of them wearing them. And everybody had them on. They were all going apeshit. And green light flooded the room, and people started going crazy. And then he says, the executive, right, from Marvel, he says, how long did you wait? And they're like, I waited 36 hours to get in the front row. And he's like, how long did you wait? And he begins to question all the people in the front row. And he goes, I'm really sorry, but we're doing something different. He's like, the front is the back.
Yeah.
And behind us go flying open these curtains, kabuki drop and all, smoke, steam, haze, and there is Paul Rudd, Rebecca Romaine, some of the stars of the movie that's coming out in December, Doomsday, Avengers, right?
Doomsday, yep.
And so then he says, oh, we can't do that to you, front row. We have another surprise. And out walks Pedro Pascal, who, by the way, again, he can have it. In real life, I was like, wow, he is good looking in real life.
Yeah.
Man, what a good looking man. He is hot. So, of course, then Pedro announces Hemsworth and all the rest of the gang, and they all come out, and you're like, oh, my God. So, of course, at this moment, the only way that I could describe the level, the energy, and the insanity is being in the Oprah audience.
Yeah.
When you would see Oprah's people, the audience, like, you get
Lose
home
their
with a
shit.
pencil.
Yep.
You get a pencil. And you're like, ah! Right? They're all screaming. That is the level of insanity that was taking place inside that 7,500 seated auditorium.
Yes, sir.
People were on their chairs. People were everywhere. And then, to make it even worse, they all start running down the aisles to the main stage.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just a pandemonium in the best way possible. Myself, I was like, I don't know how to look. Thank God you recorded it, because what I recorded was shit. I was like an eye. I think I took a picture of myself. I mean, you could see that was the level of how I wasn't even present. I was just trying to, like, take it. I wanted to be present. I was trying to take it in.
It's hard to take it all in at one time.
Yeah, I couldn't. And I literally took video of myself. I took video of the floor. I took a picture of selfie of myself, and I was like, oh my God, no. So, to be able to experience that, I mean, it was all worth it at that point.
Oh, yeah.
All the bickering, all the fighting, sitting in the heat, needing coffee, needing food, nutrition. At that moment, that was the culmination of everything. And like, wow, this was great. It was so cool to be there. My only gripe is Nobody said anything.
What do you mean?
You have all those celebrities up there, and you couldn't have a short, quick 20-minute panel. They couldn't pick 5 of them or answer a question or do something.
So let me be clear. I was also confused about that, and normally all of Hall H will allow you to ask at least 5 to 10 minutes of Q&A. It's like legendary. You know, you go up there, you ask whatever. So this year, again, it's very, very fucking weird.
So I'm
not really sure
that
why.
if they had to say something, they probably got paid more, and they didn't want to pay them more. I mean, that's an expensive panel to have. 28 was 28 of them, right?
I mean, they've done in the past. It's never been an issue, so I don't know what that was. I don't know if they were pressed for time. I just don't know. I have no clue why. They changed a lot of things this year that I wasn't very happy with.
But to end it all, which was great, was Deadpool.
Yes.
Deadpool walks in, and people are like, oh my God, in full costume. They're showing B-roll of him walking the Comic-Con floor, taking videos and photos with people.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it was Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
These people were taking photos and videos with actual Ryan Reynolds, and he was having a blast. So, of course, he reveals himself at the end, and people go apeshit.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of it. They did the Black Panther, who they revealed who
Also
the son is
cool.
going to be, which is really cool.
I loved that.
They spoke, though. They gave them the opportunity to speak, but
Yeah.
nobody from Doomsday spoke. And, of course, Robert Downey Jr., he spoke. He did his whole spiel and all that stuff. But I don't know. I would have liked to – I just felt we just needed to flesh it out just a scotch more.
Yeah.
You know, we waited all that time. We were there all day. At least give us a little bit more for the nerdgasm, right?
Correct.
People were having nerdgasms left and right already as it was. I think I really wanted to see them blow their loads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think that would have taken it over the top. But, hey, when I get hired next year – I will send my notes through. But all in all, it was a wonderful day. Thank you again to my family that I got to visit and see. Thank you again to my cousin Art, who every year puts this together. Thank you to Zach for coffee and setting us on our way. And thanks to cousin Louie. What can I say? It was not a doomsday in San Diego this past weekend. It was a do it like Danny day. And remember, what do I always say? I say, everyone smiles in the same language. Remember to always do it like Danny.